Hey everybody, it's Flyin Ryan here with the review of the Hogs Thunder Trax. Now this is similar to their previous Hyper Trax, except for now it is bigger and slower, but it is now amphibious. And what that means is that it can drive on the ground or on water. So this actually floats, and then you can press a button on the transmitter and these top parts open up and fold out underneath, and then it kind of makes like a boat. And then with these big grippy feet things here, it churns through the water and can move forward and float and drive on the water. So pretty cool. This is pretty much unstoppable. I mean, it can drive over anything. It's like a tank on the ground, so it's got a lot of torque and can really climb up stuff. It doesn't have any kind of self-righting. Like where the Hyper Trax, it could drive on either side. If this turns upside down on the ground, you can't do anything to self-right it, but that doesn't happen too often. But if it gets upside down on the water, or if you jump into the water and it lands upside down, when you give throttle, it will end up self-righting itself. So you don't have to worry about that in water. It will not get stuck in the water. It won't sink. It always floats and flips upside, or right side up. So that's really nice. We'll go ahead and look at the transmitter here. So this is your transform button. So you only press that when you're on the water. If you press it on the ground, it doesn't do anything. But once you're in the water, these open, and then it gives it more of a floating surface and lets it, slide around better. It can move a little bit like this, but it works better when you transform and open those out. And then, like I said, it's a tank, so it just moves by moving the two treads. But instead of having traditional tank controls where usually you move one stick for each track, and so you have to press both forward to go forward, this has pretty standard controls. So you've just got forward and backward on the left stick and left and right on the right stick. So it's really easy to control. You don't have to do tank control. You can just do like your normal used to, just hold forward and move left and right to turn. And then if you hold just left or right turn, it'll turn in place really nice and sharp. So super easy to control. And really that's all there is to the transmitter. You do have a trim tab, so if it's going off to one side, just move the trim in the opposite side until it drives straight. There is no charging cable on this. Like usually Hogs you can charge off the transmitter. That is not an option at all for this one. You have to use just this USB charger, and I think that's because it has a pretty big battery. It's a 450 milliamp hour internal LiPo, and it takes about 1 hour and 5 minutes to charge, and you get about 15-minute run times. It does have a little LED indicator here, and then also the light on the controller here will turn red to let you know that the battery is getting low. However, I found that happens really fast, like well before the battery dies, that turns red. So it kind of is a little bit too long of a warning because you end up ignoring it because it turns on way before it really needs to. But it does at least attempt to let you know that the battery is getting low in case you're out on the water and you don't get stranded out in the water or whatever. Let's see, it is it is proportional, so you can, you just give a little bit of throttle and move slowly, or a little bit of turn to turn slowly, so it is completely proportional to how much input you give. Let's see, is there any other notes about this one? No, like I said, it's not as fast as the Hyper Trax, so this isn't a speedy one. This is more kind of a tank speed. But really, the main feature of this is that it can go on water. So unless you have access to water and you're going to be using this on water, there's not really too much purpose to it. This really is mainly the highlight feature is that it can go on water. So that's going to be your main use for this. Something I did want to say is, it kind of shows up here. You can see that this front is all chewed up. So when you're on the ground and trying to crawl over stuff, I find that front part tends to hit into stuff and kind of keep it from wanting to climb. It runs into this before it gets to the tread. So sometimes that can kind of get in the way. But if you're trying to climb over something, if you kind of get at it at an angle and let the tread get it first, that tends to help it climb over stuff. But otherwise, it's a pretty good climber. It can go over, you know, bumps and gravel and grass and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that looks like that's about it. So I will do 2 different runs. I'll do a run out on the, you know, where I do all my ground vehicles out on the rocks and the concrete and grass, and then I'll take it out to the lake and we'll do a little water run as well. So let's go check that out. Alright, this is the run review of the Air Hogs Thunder Trax. I'm going to start out over here with a little on-land running, and then we'll take it out to the lake and see how it does on the water. Just kind of show you, get it trimmed out here a little bit, and it does just fine on these rocks, and definitely not as fast as the Hyper Trax, but it is still plenty unstoppable. Goes through the grass. Gets a little bit hung up on taller stuff, but not too bad. It's like the front got hung up there and made the little boat part expand. The front nose kind of has a little sharp edge to it, so sometimes, yeah, I can kind of get hung up on stuff, so it makes it a little bit awkward for driving over things. But if you kind of work at it for a bit, it can usually climb over stuff. There we go. Kind of go in at an angle and let the track grip. Come on, you can do it. There it goes. Then if you just give left or right turning, it kind of spins in place. And then if you're going forward and turn, it does a little bit slower turns. Pretty easy to control. So yeah, definitely not fast like the Hyper Trax. This is more about, you know, going on water. I think unless you have water to run this on, I don't think there's too much point in it. Oh. Can't quite make it up that. Oh, there goes that top part coming undone again. Yeah, this top boat thing kind of gets in the way and doesn't really like lock down very well. It's kind of cool jumping off that edge there onto the curb, or onto the little parking block thing. Oh, yeah, no self-righting or driving upside down or anything with this one. Pretty good on most surfaces though. Come on, there we go. That's pretty impressive. Alright, well I think that was enough for the on-land run, and so now we'll go ahead and take it out to the lake and see how it does on the water. Alright, let's check it out. Alright, this is the water run of the Air Hogs Thunder Trax. Go ahead and drive it around this little pond here. See if I can drive it through the grass and into the water here. Try to get it past all this yuck stuff. Alright, transform. Press the button twice. There we go. I accidentally pressed it twice and it reformed. Looks like I maybe have some grass and stuff hung up in there, but I think it's working alright. Try to get out of my own shadow here. Got a bit of a breeze out. It's fighting some current, but it's doing pretty well. Pretty neat. Let's try that reverse again. Works pretty well in reverse as well. Some spins. I'm gonna see if I can drive out of the water here. Let's do it over here. It's a little cleaner. I think I need to transform first. And just drive it out. Just churn up all that mud. There we go. It doesn't, a little trouble on this mud here. But it doesn't want to turn. I want to try to show that I can throw it in upside down, but I don't want to reach down there and fall into this mud and yuck. There we go. Alright, so it does have some self-righting, so if I get it in there upside down and then I just give it throttle, it flips itself over. So that's pretty cool. However you end up in the water, it floats and it won't sink and it will turn itself over. And so really nice and easy and carefree getting into the water. Alright, well let's bring her back in for another landing here. It's a little bit slow when you don't have those little bottom pontoons expanded, but it does still get through the water. Ugh. Come on, get up that mud. Oh man, it's kind of digging itself in there. Oh geez. It won't go, it won't back anymore. Yeah, I think I can kind of lay down and get at it. Ugh. Ooh, it's all a muddy mess. There we go. No problem. Probably laid in some geese poop while I did that, but whatever, that's what I do for you folks. Alright, well there we go. That was the review and run of the Hogs Thunder Trax, little water tank vehicle. Pretty neat, pretty cool one. Alright, we'll check the video description for a price and purchase link. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Do I have geese poop? Do I?
It's just like dirt.
Yeah. Because yeah, I looked and there was one right there.